Here's a detailed explanation of the fundamentals of client and server interaction, one of the core concepts in web and network communication. What is client-server interaction? The client-server model is a computing structure that splits tasks between a client, which requests data or services, a server, which provides responses or performs services. This model is foundational to how the internet, web applications, and many software systems operate. Who is the client? The client is typically a web browser like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, a mobile app, or even a desktop application. Main role: send requests to servers and display or use the returned data. Who is the server? The server is a remote machine, could be physical or cloud-based, runs specialized software to listen for incoming requests, sends back data or services upon request. Main role: wait for client requests, process them, and send responses. How client-server interaction works. Step by step. 1. Client sends a request. The client initiates communication. For example, getIndex.html is a request from a browser to retrieve a homepage. This is usually done using HTTP or HTTPS protocols. Number 2. Server receives the request. The server listens on a specific port, usually port 80 for HTTP, 443 for HTTPS. The server receives the request and starts processing it. Number 3. Server processes the request. It determines what is being asked, e.g. a file, data from a database. Executes code like PHP, Node.js, Python if needed. May query a database or other systems. Number 4. Server sends a response. The server sends back data, usually as HTML, CSS, JS files, JSON for APIs, images, videos, or documents. The response includes a status code, e.g. 200 OK, 404 not found. Number 5. Client receives and processes response. The browser app renders the content or uses it in some way. If needed, it can send more requests. Protocols used in client-server communication, protocol purpose, HTTP, HTTPS, used for websites and APIs. FTP, used for transferring files, SMTP, IMAP, POP3, used for sending, receiving emails. WebSocket for real-time two-way communication. Example, loading a web page, client-server flow. 1. User types www.example.com in the browser. 2. Browser sends a GET request to the server. 3. Server returns index.html. 4. Browser makes more requests for CSS, JS, and images. 5. Server responds with each file. 6. Browser displays the page to the user. Key terminology, term description. Request, data sent by the client to ask for something. Response, data sent back from the server. Status code indicates success, 200, error, 404, etc. API, application programming interface for structured data exchange. Stateless, each request is treated independently by the server, e.g. HTTP is stateless. Method, purpose, retrieve data, repost, submit data, update data, delete, remove data. Summary table, role, what it does, client sends requests and displays, uses responses. Server, listens, processes requests, returns results. Request, initiated by client, response, returned by server. Vercel real-world analogy. Think of a restaurant. Client equals you placing an order, server, waiter, taking your order to the kitchen and bringing food back. Kitchen equals backend systems databases. Menu, API, list of what you can request. Would you like a diagram? Here's a detailed explanation of the fundamentals of client and server interaction, one of the core concepts in web and network communication.